everyone, this is David, and boy oh boy, I want to talk about pronouns and gender preferred pronouns. Now, if you're not an English native speaker, I'm going to go ahead and link the Wikipedia article on the preferred gender pronoun. Now, what it boils down to is basically calling somebody by the gender that they want to be known as, okay? When Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner, he changed his identity from the masculine to the feminine. Now, a lot of people want to sit there and say, well, on his birth certificate, he was Bruce Jenner, and that's what I'm going to call him as. And so they have this hair up their nose about calling him Bruce instead of Caitlyn. And of course, that has all the LGBTQ community up in arms about why don't you just call him what he needs to be known as. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, David, why do you care? Well, here's the thing. For each of these processes that you make someone go through to get their gender identity changed, that ends up costing the taxpayers more money. That a judge who could be hearing murder cases now has to sit there and make a grand decision on whether he should allow someone to change their name from George to Fluffy Foo-Foo, and now wants to change their gender from male to X, whatever the hell that is supposed to mean. Really? This is what you want our elected officials to spend time and taxpayer money on. When I was a little shaver, much younger, I was in high school, yes, way back when. When I went to North Portland from 87 to 89, my 10th, 11th grade years, we had a guy there whose name was Butch. And we all called him Butch, and that's what he was known as. Took me a while to figure out that his birth name was Homer. And I asked him once, I said, well, what's wrong? Because I said, up where I'm from in Alaska, Homer is the name of a small city, and there's a land spit there that people really good halibut fishing. And he got up in my face, and Butch was a big kid, not the kind you wanted to mess with. And he said, that's what I've been known as since I was 6 years old, and that's what I want to be called. Yes, sir, not a problem. Unless you wanted to pick a fight with him, and I would not advise you to do that, you called him Butch, and that was it. When I was on the campus grounds crew, taking care of our 950 acres, that's one of my jobs when I was in nursing school. From about 91 to 94, I worked with a lady, her name was Woolly, like a woolly mammoth. And I thought, that is such a bizarre name, but that's her name. And that is what she and everybody knew her as. Well, one day she had me take a check, a bank check, to one of the kids named Adam. He was the head student, and she's like, David, don't talk about this because what I'm doing is technically against school regulations. And she was loaning Adam some money because she happened to be right here, right now, so that he could get his textbooks for classes tomorrow and not have to go through his parents and wait several days, and then he was going to be going through half of his classes the first part of the semester without any books to follow. So I went to give him the check, and I noticed, I said, who's Yvonne? And he looks at me and he grabs the check, and he's like, David, that's Woolly's real name. Real first name is Yvonne. She wasn't born Woolly, she was born Yvonne Butler. And sure enough, there was Yvonne, Woolly in quotation marks, Butler. And he says, unless you want to get the taste slapped out of your mouth, I would suggest you never call her Yvonne. And so one day I actually very gingerly brought it up, and she laughed. She goes, yeah, don't ever call me Yvonne unless you want to pick a fight with me. She goes, but that's what I have been known as since I was a little kid, and that's the way I've always kept it. For over 50, 60 years, okay? It was not a big deal. We didn't make her go through an act of Congress or go through a surgery or get a note from her doctor and her therapist and her psychologist and her psychiatrist and all of this crap to change her name from Yvonne to Wooly. That's what she wanted to be known as. That's what we called her. So if you know somebody who wants to change their pronouns or their gender or their name or whatever, just be a decent person and call them by what they want to be known as. Do not make pronouns more difficult than they have to be. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hope to all see you later.